A woman is the most beautiful creation of God. She is a symbol of power, strength, love, care, and respect towards everyone. She is a true symbol of servant leader. But yet, it took them years, centuries rather, for them to gain, come to the equality. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the exciting meeting at Toastmaster for Professional. We all respect women, but today we have a special meeting where we have this wonderful lady, two times DTM, a wonderful mother, a wonderful daughter, a wonderful wife, and a wonderful servant leader in the room, DTM Susan, the Toastmaster of the day. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Agu. And to all the young ladies in the room, and I consider you all young ladies, that no matter what your ages are, we're young at heart. And we will, in fact, tonight have a very special event with 3 planned speeches for tonight. For the sake of some of our guests who may or may not even be Toastmasters, I'd like to just go over and introduce our various roles that we have for the day. I am the MC for the meeting. I will be introducing our speakers as well as our meeting functionaries. And the first one that we have is our timer. You can see he has the black background and the white words that are there for timing. Ashvin, who is going to be giving us the indications for timing. Ashvin, would you like to explain your role for our members and guests?
Yes, I would. Sorry about that. I was just trying to find that mute button. I know it's there somewhere. Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. As timer, I will be helping the speakers practice expressing a thought within a specific time. My duty is to time prepared speeches, table topic speeches, and speech evaluations during this meeting. Now, for a 5 to 7 minute prepared speech, I'll show a green for 5 minutes, a yellow for 6 minutes, and red for 7 minutes. Now, no one will be disqualified because this is not a contest, but do your best to be within time. After 7 minutes, you have 30 seconds grace period. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so very much. Next, we have our grammarian for the day, who is going to be Grace. Grace, could you please give us our word of the day and explain your role?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. My name is Grace, and the word of the day is innovative, which means tending to innovate or introduce something new or different characterized by innovation. You can use innovative with these examples. Women must use innovative methods to balance family and their profession. There are some of the most innovative benefits tailored to the back to school that businesses are now offering their employees. Both sorts of effort may be of either the routine or innovative type. So I'll be also watching good use of our word of the day and also good words that we are having during the meeting. And I'm going to be back to have this report as well. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Next, we have our counter, who is Anna. Anna, would you like to describe your role for us and what you'll be looking for?
Thank you, Susan. Good morning, good evening, everyone. I'm very pleased to be a counter for today's meeting. Maybe I cannot take some innovative manner to introduce my role. My role is to keep track of some filler words you used in your speech. And at the end of the meeting, I will give you the R report. Thank you. Back to Susan.
Thank you so very much. And I would also like to recognize the dignitaries who have joined us so far today. And first up, we have our area director, Pamela McHenry. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here and observe this meeting today and possibly be the evaluator first.
Excellent. Thank you so very much. I don't see that the other functionaries or dignitaries have arrived as of yet, so I'll try to introduce them when they do arrive. We are in for a treat today. Yes? Did you have something, Reku? Yes?
Raji is here, the club co-director.
Rajiv, I didn't see. Okay. I'm not noticing the name. Okay, thank you. Rajiv, would you like to introduce yourself as Club Growth Director?
Sure, Susan. Hello, everyone. My name is Raji and I'm the Club Growth Director for District 101. I'm glad to join the meeting today on the occasion of Women's Day. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you. And I believe it's also to celebrate the fact that our club is officially chartered. How awesome is that to celebrate as well? Well, for the theme of today, you heard Ragu talking about women struggling with our challenge for equality through centuries, but our work is not yet done. While women in the United States, at least, have gotten the right to vote early last century, 1920s, that fight took almost 70 years within the United States. And there have been other laws that have been passed, such as the right for equal pay. And although that was passed in the 60s, the 1960s, I must tell you, we're still having some disparity. So there's still some opportunities for that. I believe it's 75 or 76 cents on the dollar. Well, they may say equal pay for equal jobs, but the excuse is that the poor gentlemen, they've been here for 20 years longer than you, and they have the experience. And then after that goes away, there's another excuse of sorts. But we are able to persevere, we women, and we're able to do that. There are some things that women are still fighting for. Did you know there are still places in this world where women do not have the right to continuing on their education in secondary ed and higher? It's extremely limited. I'm happy to say that here in the United States, there is a grand growth in women seeking higher education. In the 1920s, it might have only been 3 to 5% earning their degrees. And now that is to a point where there are more women enrolled in higher education roles than there are men in some fields. And they are growing by leaps and bounds. While women were always given, and I was given this advice, I was born in the 1950s, early on, and I was told as I exited high school in the 60s and started college, they're telling me, you could be a secretary, you could be a nurse, or you could be a teacher. There were no other roles that they were gearing us for, but I was not to be told no. I even took a college course in accounting, and they said, women don't become accountants. They're all men with gray suits and the little visors on their heads. Of course, this is before computers. So I went on to become a manager of accounting in a major corporation. They weren't necessarily as welcoming as they could have been because I was a woman, but I persevered, as all of you do too in your everyday struggles. I know it's hard to be noticed sometimes for the knowledge that we bring. Women had not noticeably been in the STEM industry, science, technical, and math. When I was in a math class in college, there were perhaps only 2 or 3 women in the entirety of the class. I am so happy to say that that is now reversing, and there are more women joining in science and engineering, and it's happening. We're not quite there yet, but the opportunities are unfolding for women across the world. I hope and pray for women's safety, for women's happiness, for equal pay and respect, and the world of opportunities for all of us. I am now going to introduce our first speaker. Now, all 3 of our speakers are going to be giving the feedback and evaluation speech number 1. This is in Pathways, the opportunity to talk about any topic, any subject, get some feedback, and show in their next speech that they are able to apply one or two pieces of improvement from the feedback they were given. So they're going to listen, they will hear, they will take it, and in their next speech apply it. All three of our speakers are doing that. Now, our first speaker today is Maya. Maya will be evaluated by Dee Marie Scheiking, and Maya's speech title, and I hope I'm saying this correctly, it's an AAI, so it's I, is that right to pronounce? I?
Yes, correct.
I, my mother, my inspiration. Please help us welcome Maya for a 5 to 7 minute speech.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, evaluators, guests. Yatra nari astu pujyante tatra devata. Where women are honored, divinity blossoms there. As you all know, today is the International Women's Day, which is celebrated all over the world on 8th of March. This day is a celebration of women's achievements, their contribution to society, and their struggles for equality and empowerment. Women have been made incredible progress in the last decade, where we have been broken barriers and proved that we can do anything we set our minds to. We have become leaders in business, politics, academia, and we have made significant contributions to science, medicine, and the arts. However, despite the progress that we have been made, there is still a long way to go. Women continue to face discrimination, harassment, and violence in many parts of the world. They are still underrepresented in position of power, and their voices are often not heard or taken seriously. On this day, I remember my mother, whom we call Ai. She, in her lifetime, impacted our household health. And I remember this about more than 30 years ago, when I was studying, I was schooling, and one day I came back home with my sister, and there we saw a lady with a young daughter. She would be like my age only, or a little smaller than me, my sister's age maybe. And they were sitting and discussing with my mother, Ai. So they were into very deep discussion. And this woman, she was telling her all the problems, the struggles she was going through. And she was requesting Ai to keep her daughter, who was of our age, to keep in our home for the house help. Knowing the economic background and her conditions under the circumstances, my mother, Ai, she kept that woman's daughter with us. That girl's name was Meera. She helped Ai, and the mother, she left her daughter and she went. And Meera, she was so nice, such a nice girl. She was like another sister to us, but she was helping my Ai in all the household chores every day. But my Ai noticed one of the very good qualities in her, that is, she never headed into school. She never studied anything. But she used to observe us very silently, just standing behind the door and watching us how we are doing our homework. When we go to school, she used to ask Ai many questions. But at the same time, she used to help her in all her household chores. One day, I realized that this girl, she wants to study. So she asked Meera, do you want to study? She said yes in affirmation. And I started teaching her. She first started with the alphabets. O-R-E-E. Then slowly she started teaching her the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is in the Marathi language in India or Goa, you can say. So she picked up so quickly that within short span of time, within a year, she learned to make the sentences. She learned to read the newspaper. In fact, when I got married, as I grew up, I told us that when she had married and had come to her new place, so she had an opportunity after a couple of years to teach in our village school. But she could not take the job because she wanted to give justice to her life after marriage, because she was living in a very joint family with about 50 to 60 people in the home. She did not want it to miss but she was always in the back of her mind. She wanted to have the innovation or the innovative ideas that she wanted to impact the life of one person during her lifetime. So, and now she got this opportunity after many years. And she impacted the life of Meera. When Meera grew up, Meera was in our home for almost 5 years. And one fine day, her mother came and she said, I want to take Meera back. I asked her, what's wrong? She said she got a proposal and we want her to get married. And she was not even 14, 15 years. She was not the age of marriage. But I could not do anything. She had to give her, Meera was crying. She was requesting my mom, don't leave me. I want to stay here. I like to stay here. I'll be with you all forever. But her mother was very stubborn. She took her away. But I felt very bad. And she narrated this story to us later on, that the reason why she wanted to take her daughter back. But she was happy that she made her literate in her entire life, because she could do, when she grew up, she'll get that knowledge to do good. And I always taught us to be honest in our lives. She imbibed great values in us. She said to us always that always speak the truth, come what may. So in conclusion, let us celebrate Women's Day with joy and pride. Let us use this day as an opportunity to acknowledge the past and present achievements of women, and to commit ourselves to creating a better future for women everywhere. Together, we can create a world where every woman is valued, respected, and empowered to reach her full potential. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. We would also like to invite any of our members or guests online to write a comment to Maya, telling her what she's done well, and give her that support. Now, listening to her story about her mom as inspiration, I invite each of you to think about the women who've come before us, our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunts, cousins, and all those that inspired us. Again, from my generation, women were not going to college, not typically. And many women did not work outside the home. My mother was unusual. She actually had a job outside the home, and it was a rarity in the 1950s. Thankfully, by the time I was reaching the college age, that opportunity opened up for me in such a way that I was able to step forward to be the first in my immediate family to have gone to college. And the stigma was still there. People said, was I going to college for my MRS degree? And I had to ask what that was, because I was a bit naive at 17 years old. And they were telling me, well, don't girls just go to college for the first few months to find a husband. And no, that was not the case for me and not for many of the women that I met. But think of the opportunities that you've been given. Think about how much better off we are than perhaps the earlier generations. And think forward of what we can do for our daughters and granddaughters in the future. I was a member of Girl Scouting, and they told us we can do whatever we want, even to the point of meeting a female space astronaut. Isn't that awesome that girls could finally achieve those levels? We're going to go to our next speaker now, Sarika, who is going to be evaluated by Lydia. Again, the same feedback and evaluation, 5 to 7 minutes for our timer. And Sarika's speech title is Shades of a Woman. Please help me welcome Sarika.
Good morning. Happy Women's Day. Am I audible and visible? Thank you. When I first saw Mahabharata, one of the epic stories from India, I understood Draupadi was the one to wage a war. When I came to school and I studied about the war of Troy, I know Helen was responsible to wage a war. But when I looked at history, where did we go wrong that a woman had to fight for her own rights? Fellow Toastmasters, dear friends and guests, a woman has always been under supervision and under constant care by the entire society, failing to understand that in every religion, irrespective of what religion are we talking about, woman was created to nourish and flourish the next generation. Woman was placed because the next generation had to be in place. A man wouldn't do the birth part of the entire process. A man would need a companion. Please remember the word companion, not a slave, not a servant, not someone who is behind the man. Where did we go so wrong in the entire civilization that for the last 100 years, women has to constantly fight for their rights? When God gave woman, as in many religions, from the rib of the man, which means you are an equal, how and why did we screw up so much? My speech today might be unconventional in many ways because sometimes I think feminism is overrated. When is it overrated? When I saw my cousin get divorced twice for no fault of his. When he had to pay a hefty amount as an alimony, when I really thought feminism is overrated. Feminism is overrated when I see men have mental issues, but women sit there and absolutely do nothing. Feminism is overrated when I actually look at the friends I have, especially boys, and they say, I was cheated. I was cheated by a girl who actually had 3 affairs. All these facts actually make the woman in me angry. Because for me, the way I have been brought up, a woman personifies sacrifice. A woman personifies giving the last bite of an apple or a pizza to the child. A woman personifies waking up at 5 o'clock, irrespective of what time she slept, taking care of the entire family without an ouch. And suddenly I see a shift in a woman being unkind, being inconsiderate, being human. I want to know what would go in a woman's mind when she filed for a divorce in my cousin's case. I wanted to know, was my cousin at fault or was it the girl who was at fault? I was raised in a joint family. I have seen my grandmother, my mother, my mother-in-law to work, to feed, to actually hold the family close. But today, when I look at my daughter who says, Mama, you have to be selfish sometimes, I am scared. I am scared because I personally believe God made women kind. God made women in a manner that she understands the pain of others. God made women to endure the birth of a child. And I sometimes think, in a fit to be equal, in a rage to be equal, in an anger to be seen by the society, are we losing the essence of being a woman? These questions actually make me irritated and frustrated. Sometimes I wish, sometimes I wish I just want to be like other people. Go in the rat race, fight for what is rightfully yours. But I just take a pause and think a woman is responsible for the entire family. No matter how much people tell me that you have to fight for your rights, if the heart of the woman turns into a stone, turns practical, turns realistic, the essence of being a woman is lost. But I'm not the one to tell another woman, don't go fight for her rights. I would actually support the woman to tell her to fight her for her own rights. But at the same time, I would not want her to lose the very special shade of being a woman. If my speech has offended anyone in this particular room, I apologize. But trust me, for me, I would always want to be a woman whose family can come back because they know Mama has a lot of love for them. Happy Women's Day to each one of you. Over to the TMO.
Thank you, Sarika. Thank you. The opportunities that we have as women, in many ways, we're able to be kind and loving, as she said, and sometimes even be stronger. They often say the women are the weaker sex. Well, we might be physically not as adept as some of the men because of our musculature, but stronger in character sometimes, to persevere, to hang in there, to do what you can do better than anyone else could do. Even in the workplace, sometimes women will work harder just to be noticed or just to be not called that weaker sex. So persevere, ladies, because you have that opportunity of all your God-given rights, as Sarika reminded us, and use that for the very best that we can do for others. Our third speaker today is going to be Amanda, and she is going to be evaluated by Pamela, unless Josepha has arrived, and I don't see her. So we're going to have Pamela do the evaluation for her. It is again a 5 to 7 minute speech, feedback and evaluation, speech 1. And I don't know that I can pronounce this, but I'm going to try. Amanda, you will correct me if I'm wrong, because it appears to be not a language I am familiar with, as you have Xingyan Women's Script, Nishu.
Yes.
Close enough? Close enough?
Yes, it is correct. Yes.
Please help me welcome Amanda.
Okay, I want to share my screen. Okay. 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 Today is Women's Day. On this special days for women, I would like to introduce you a very unique language for women. This language was created by women. This language was also created for women. The formal name is called Jiangyong Women's Grid. We also call it as 女书 in Chinese. 女书 is Chinese pronunciation. I'm going to introduce 7 parts one by one under this topic. So the picture in the right side shows this grid. You can see it is very different from Chinese character. Actually, 女书 is an ancient language developed by women for women. As far as I know, it is the only character particular to a woman in the world so far. But however, today only a few can speak it. If we want to know more about this language, we have to know something about the birthplace of this language, Jiangyong County. Jiangyong County locates in the Hunan province. Hunan is located in southern of China. Jiangyong County is an ordinary, but of course, is a mysterious place. We think it is ordinary because it is just one of thousands of Chinatowns. But of course, it is mysterious because here it creates the unique language in the world, the only character shared by women. I believe the local custom play a significant role for generating this unique language here in this place. For example, the wife had to go back to her homes and cannot live with her husband after 3 days of the wedding until they had the first baby, which means the wife and the husband cannot live together until they have the first baby. They live in 2 different worlds. So the woman will have a lot of time. So I believe this will help to bring about a women's society. Eventually, women has a lot of time for themselves. To answer these questions, why generate in this place? According to Chinese traditional culture, the idea of men was superior to women lasted for many years until the new China was founded in 1949. So in the context of this background, women were not allowed to go to school and they were not allowed to study. In other places of China, women accept this fate. They take it for granted. Women aside to this fate, but women in this place were very different. Women in Jiangyong were very different. Because they create their unique culture to teach themselves, in their women's circle. Finally, they create this women's education system for women in Jiangyong County. At the right side of this slide shows the share of this square. It is very long. It is very long. Sorry, it is very hello. It is very long, but sorry, sorry. Sorry. Okay. The share of this square is very long, just like an ant or mosquito. So this language was firstly called as ant squid or mosquito squid or long leg squid. This language also, this squid was inherited in a very special way from mother to the daughter, from the aunt to their niece, or they teach or learn among their women's relatives or women's friends. Okay, just within the women's circle. Finally, last but not the least, on this special days for women, on this Women's Days, I want to place this language. I believe the existence of this grace represent women's rebellions and independence at that time. And it speaks for those women who want to express themselves in the history. Okay, I think still it have a very significant roles for us today. This ends for my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. I've learned something new that I never imagined. Fantastic speech, Amanda, and also Sarika. The thing about women is we know things are possible. We have this world of opportunity for ourselves, and think about, we may move into a house and we can make it into a home. You may have family members, you make the love go round, and somehow or another we might be able to juggle the school schedules for the children, the dinner meals and all the rest of that, and perhaps even have a career and still make it work. It doesn't mean we need to crumble, and we need to stand tall as women with innovative ways that we can do things. Thank the Lord for all the new toys that we have to make the kitchen work easier, and think about how much we have progressed through the years, and we are capable of doing so very much. I can't even imagine what the future has in store for us, perhaps even equality in pay and safety around the world for everyone all around the world. I am now going to turn control of the meeting to our table topics master. We have our table topics master, Catherine Opondo. The floor is yours for our impromptu speaking.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster DTM Susan. I would like to take a small poll. Table topics for you, our guests, is an opportunity for us to speak off the cuff. I will be able to call out your name and then give you a topic that you will take a minute to think about and speak within 2 minutes. And our timer will be able to show you when your time is up, and then you'll be able to share. And since it's Women's Day, I would like to take a Toastmaster as a volunteer. Our Toastmaster, Ashvin, are you willing to be our first volunteer? This is a topic for you. Are you ready? Please let me know if you're ready. Toastmaster Ashvin, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Toastmaster Ashvin, Women's Day 2023 has a theme which says equity. Equity for women in society. That's your topic, Toastmaster Ashvin.
Equity in women in society. I live in a household, like I said before, of 3 women. My wife and my 2 daughters. They've got 100% equity in everything. Because I adore them a lot. I really believe, I mean, it's funny because I grew up in an environment where my dad literally married my mom just for labor. And I saw that. It's like, you know, the fields, I see how hard she worked in the fields. And it didn't change me, which is kind of interesting because you think I would employ that to my girls or something else, right? Same thing, but no, it's not. I think they are the most precious things in the world. I think women are awesome. I think we should give them everything. They deserve it. They should be equal or even more, I believe. And I'm glad that my childhood didn't change the way I treated my girls, because I think they're the most important things in the world. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Catherine, back to you.
Catherine?
Can you hear me? Sorry about that. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashvin. And now I would like to invite our guests to take on the challenge. And I will kindly ask Jay Kumar Sejpal. I think Jay Kumar Sejpal, are you able to take a topic?
Yes, I will take.
Thank you. Thank you. Jay Kumar, in Africa, the International Women's Day theme is Digit All. Digit All means creating equity in innovations for technology to create and bridge the gap between the gender divide for women. For example, digital in terms of delivery for women who have to have children, digital in terms of transport and communication, digital in terms of job markets. Please give us your views on what can be done in the world today to embrace digital for all women. Thank you, Kumar.
Okay, thank you. Happy Women's Day, all of great ladies here today. And that is a very nice topic brought out by Catherine, that what we can do to achieve the equality, and specifically for this campaign in Africa. So I believe that women are in some fields are far more superior compared to men. There are certain fields like they take care of household, they take care of children. In terms of many skills, they are far more superior. And as a leader also, what I feel in my current field, that as a leader, they are very much more creative. They are much more empathetic to bring the teams together. So there are certain areas in the field where I think if women are given more chance to become a leader, to lead such teams where their skill set would be much more appropriate rather than men, where some of the men as a leader will behave like that, you have to do my way or highway. So that kind of thing will not work as a leader. But in certain specific field, I feel that women will be more efficient in terms of leadership to bring people together, and so that team would become more coherent and work together. So this kind of situation, like we should go by the skill set, and in certain skill set we have to take women far ahead, even compared to men. Priority should be given to women in such areas. So that is my suggestion, that we can empower more women in certain fields.
Thank you so much, Kumar. I'd like to invite Dr. Mary Thomas to take on one table topic. And Dr. Mary Thomas, this is your topic. Our previous speaker, Sarika, asked a very pertinent question. She said, in the quest for equality and equity, have we lost our sense of womanhood? I rephrase. Have we lost our sense of womanhood. Dr. Mary Thomas.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. The question that arises is, why is it that we're even thinking that we have lost the equality? It always comes to my mind, how on earth did men suppress women? Where did all of this start? It's a very perplexing question. Did men think that it is a pathetic job to bear children and take care of them? Did men think that it is so easy to cook and clean and feed them? That's an absolutely ridiculous thought. I remember once when all the women, I can't remember where it was, when all the women boycotted their men. They refused to clean the house. They refused to cook. They refused to take care of the children. Boy, these men were totally lost. And then they have the gall to put these women down, because without them, they are nowhere. I'm not saying that we're so great, but we do contribute a very vast amount of creativity. You know, give a woman, there's a joke here, give a woman a sperm and she'll give you a child. Give a woman some food. Give a woman some, something from the farm and she'll give you food. Give a woman money and she'll invest it. Now, how did we women end up being thrown on the side as though we're not at all contributing in any way? It just makes no sense. While I'm at it, I want to speak about the Sustainable Development Goals number 5 out of the 17 of the United Nations, where there would be gender equality for women, finally. It even goes to say that we may get paid for working at home. Now that makes some sense. So that is what I feel, that, you know, so much of International Women's Day, you know, so much of hoopla over all of this. Hey, just give us our rights. We don't need big days and all of that. And so much of, I call it hoopla, you know, so much of entertainment for this. I don't get it, really. I may sound like a dampener, doom and gloom, but I'm just saying exactly what's in my mind. How on earth could we, divine feminines, be just shoved on the side and left there as though we meant nothing to these men? Back to you. I can't see the timer. Back to you.
You're red. You're red. Catherine, we do have a volunteer, Dee Marie, who had her hand raised. Would you like to
please.
call on her next?
Thank you so much. Diana McCraw, is that Diana? Yes. Diana, this is your topic. Is that Diana? Am I right?
No, Dee Marie, Dee Marie Shiking. She volunteered.
Okay. Dee Marie, Dr. Dee Marie, is that Toastmaster Dee Marie? Shiking, can I just read out Diana's topic and then I let Dee Marie give
yes,
her
go to
speech?
her first and then that's
Thank you.
fine. Yes.
Thank you. So Diana, this is your topic. What does it feel like to be a woman, especially today on the 8th of March? Diana, please go ahead and type your. This is your topic. The International Women's Day makes no sense unless women reach out to the girl child. Because if the girls know who they are, then probably we may not have an International Women's Day. Dee Marie Shiking.
I am so sorry. Could you repeat that, please?
The International Women's Day is special for all women. It doesn't make any sense until women around the world reach out and empower the girl child. Because when girls know who they are and become women, we probably might not need the International Women's Day. To you, DeMarie Shiking.
It is my firm belief that we are the best mentors by the way we live our lives. When we set the example for the girls that are coming behind us, but also for the women that walk along beside us, when we set the example, and we do that by knowing who we are. When we know who we are, the girls automatically pick up on that. When you walk in a room with your head held high and you command the attention of that room, the girls see that. But not only do the girls see that, the men see that, and the women who are working alongside you see that. So when you are your best self, it's just like a smile or enthusiasm. These things are contagious. And I would like to be innovative enough to create an enthusiastic atmosphere where everyone is modeling themselves after everyone else. Because when self-esteem, self-confidence, and the ability to stand firm in who you are is given out as an aura that everyone can see, then you have been innovative and you have created an atmosphere that every female, be it woman or girl, can thrive in. That is my firm belief.
Thank you so much, DeMarie. Diana, did you get your topic? Were you able to type your responses in the chat? Diana?
And Madam Topic Master, I think we do need to wrap up so that we can go on to our evaluations.
Okay. I think I will take a moment to thank each and every one of the guests and Toastmasters for being very innovative with your table topics this evening, this morning. Back to you, Toastmaster Susan. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would take one more, but we do have 3 evaluations to do, plus our tag team. So I am going to ask our first evaluator, DeMarie Shiking, to please provide her evaluation for Maya, i.e. my mother, my inspiration. Please help me welcome DeMarie.
Thank you for that, Madam Toastmaster. Maya's speech, wow, was very innovative. She talked about the inspiration of her mother, i.e. And in her description of her mom, you could sense the warmth, the compassion, and the inspiration that she felt in her voice. You could hear that in her voice. But she talked about how her mom loved people and had taken on the care of this child to help her increase her schoolwork and her knowledge and her ability. She did such a good job of that, that the child had developed a relationship with IE and did not want to leave. She wanted to remain with her and became emotional when her mother said that this is over, we have to go, it's not going to continue. But IE had this expression or saying that you are always to speak the truth. And Maya's call to action was that all of us should speak the truth. If I were to give any stretch goals, I would say that Maya's vocal variety could have been enhanced when she talked about the girl. She could have used that girl's voice when she talked the child that her mom was helping. When she talked about the child's mother, she could have used that mother's voice and how stern she sounded from the description that Maya had given. But then she could also have used her mother's voice to let us hear in her own words how her mother would have sounded. Those would have been different types of vocal variety, the voice modulations of those people. The other thing that I think would have been very impactful is that she could have stood. Anytime you stand up, you command whatever is in front of you. If you're in a person-to-person, one-on-one situation and you're standing and the other person is sitting, you're at a definite advantage, even at that point. So when you stand, you command attention and you will get more attention. You had good hand gestures. We could tell that you were all in on this speech and that you had a relationship with your mom and that she was an inspiration for you. I enjoyed the speech. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so very much. Next up, we have our evaluator, a second evaluator, Lydia, who is going to be evaluating Sarika. Please help me welcome Lydia.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Where did we go wrong that a woman has to fight for her rights? That question had me from the beginning when Sarika asked that question. Fellow Toastmasters, guest, and especially Sarika, thank you so much for your speech. It was powerful, it was thought-provoking, and 3 things I would like to share with you that I really loved about your speech. I'd like to share with you 2 things that I felt you could improve on, and then 1 thing that would help you take your speech to the very next level. So the first thing that I really enjoyed about your speech is, first of all, that you did ask questions that got the attention from the beginning. The second thing that very struck me was the sincerity of your beliefs. Even though you had beliefs that may have been in contrast to what other women may have had, your conviction came across. Third, I loved the use of the questions. The fact that you kept repeating them. Every point that you made, you just impressed it every time by how many questions that you would ask over and over again. There are 2 things that I think that you could work on. One is your vocal variety. There are some places in your speech where you could lower your voice almost to a whisper. Where did we go wrong? Because that would add some power to it. And then when you come back up and add more volume to it, that adds some flavor and some variety to your speech. Now, to challenge yourself, I did notice at the end of your speech, you apologize for possibly offending someone. I feel that that actually takes a little away from the power of your speech, because that is your viewpoint. And if that is your viewpoint, you should stand on it and stand in your power and have your conviction. So again, so the 3 things I loved: your use of questions, your repetition, your sincerity, your use of questions. You got my attention. You might want to add some vocal variety as well as some gestures. And again, don't apologize, stand firm, and your speech will go to the next level. And I cannot wait to hear more from you. Thank you so much, Sarika. And back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. That's a valid lesson for all of us. Never apologize for who you are. Don't ever let anybody make you feel that way. Next up, we have our 3rd evaluator, who's going to be our area director, Pamela McHenry, who's going to be evaluating Amanda's speech. Please help me welcome Pamela.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters. Amanda, what a beautiful PowerPoint presentation you did today. It was very well done. You had great points. I could follow you along with what you were saying about the Jeonyoung women's script. I had never ever heard anything about this before, so it really got my attention. I appreciated learning something about this secret script that only women created and that very few people speak that script. That to me is fascinating, as well as what else was fascinating is that there is a whole community that have local customs that were just with women. And you mentioned in your script that they were all very unique and had their own community, as if there was no interaction with men other than that short wedding excursion. And you wondered how they had babies, how did they do this or that. It was also interesting to me that you mentioned that this was a faithless county, and the whole talk was really about bringing curiosity. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to learn more. It was just something I'd never even come across in my whole life. I do really suggest that you spend a couple of minutes in the beginning of your talk to show your beautiful face. I only saw a tiny little part of you, and it was, and it's good because we want to associate you with what you're saying and get a little bit more information about, well, where do you fit into this? Was this your background of your ancestors? Was this where you grew up now? Are you part of this community of women? I would love to hear in the next talk more about these customs and what relationship it has to you and where you fit in. I have no idea if this is practiced today or in the past, but it is a fascinating story, and you felt comfortable talking in your script. You did make good pauses. Your language was very clear, and I know English is your second language, and I'm presuming and I'd love to know more about your relationship to this county. Were you born there? Something about your own particular family. It's a great start. Thank you very much for sharing such a fascinating subject with us today. And I'll hand it back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm just noticing a few of the comments in the chats that are out there. Just so amazing. Archana was making a comment. In her opinion, women's empowerment and equality should start right at home from childhood. If children are educated at a young age on these key aspects, it'll have a profound impact on society and also creates conducive environment in the work environments. That's right. Teach your children, teach your boys and girls at home to have a respect for one another, men or women, and treasure the women, because we are very special, and everyone here is as well. We are now going to move into what we call the tag team, the functionaries who have held our meeting very closely in their listening skills so that they can tell us how we have done. I'm going to first call up our timer, Ashvin. Would you please report on how well we've done on our timing?
Absolutely, Madam Toastmaster. I'm an honor to be your timer today. First speaker, Toastmaster Maya, your time was 7 minutes and 14 seconds. And your evaluator, Dee Marie, 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Speaker number 2, Toastmaster Sadika, 6 minutes and 36 seconds. And your evaluator, Lydia, 3 minutes and 19 seconds. Speaker number 3, Toastmaster Amanda, 6 minutes and 29 seconds. Evaluator, who is that? Pamela, there you go. 3 minutes and 9 seconds. And for our table topics, Ashvin, 1 minute, 29 seconds. Jay Kumar, 1 minute, 55 seconds. Mary Thomas, 3 minutes and 6 seconds. 2 more minutes, it could have made it a speech. Thank you. That was great. Deanna, thank you for putting your answer in the chat. Appreciate it. And Dee Marie, yours was 1 minute and 32 seconds. And that's my report to Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you for stepping in at the 11th hour as well. We do appreciate your support. Next, we'll hear from our counter, Anna.
Hello, everyone. Here is my R report. Actually, I noticed that during the people deliver the speech, people with, if they didn't know what they will say for the next sentence, some people will repeat what they say. But like us, maybe because English is our second language, so when we stop, we will say, so during the whole meeting, I think Amanda speak more up during your speech. So pay attention. Next time we will, like me, also I have the same problem. And we need to remind us, speak slowly and do better next time. Thank you.
Thank you. I heard a great secret from my very first time in Toastmasters. Do you know what you can do in that moment while you're thinking of the next word? Breathe. Just go. Nobody can hear it. And it gives you that little bit of a delay. Just breathe silently. Nobody will know. It's fine. It really does work. And start to speak. Next, we will hear from our grammarian, also stepped in, Grace. Thank you for filling in. Please tell us how we did with our word of the day and was our grammar in alignment with what you're listening to.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So for the word of the day, I have heard it twice. One was Anna, second was Maya during her speech, and then Dee Marie, both on her evaluation and answer for the table topic question. I didn't catch any improper use of grammar, though there were a lot of great words that I have liked during the meeting. Some of these quotations and words that I really like is that opportunities are unfolding for women around the world, where women divinity blossom, where women are divinity blossom there. I also see that women are there created to flourish and nourish the next generation. And then there is a language created by women and for women. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. And that would conclude our tag team. I'd like to thank everyone first for coming today. Also today for you. Thanks you also for participating so beautifully. I'd like to also read Deanna's response because we always like to do that for her. She loves to use the word of the day as well. So Grace, you can add her in. She had innovative. Women's Days, innovative, our lost vote, that women, that leadership to speech, the Toastmaster Club, innovative, and I'm a bigger woman, that powerful innovation, inside I feel cool, Women Day. So thank you, Deanna, for your response. I must admit, until last year, I didn't even know there was such a thing as International Women's Day. It just never occurred to me that that was something that was going. So to be part of this today is very special. And there's also going to be another session that's going to be led by our District 101 tomorrow, a panel of women in leadership. If anybody is interested, our District 101 TM webpage can have it. And perhaps if one of the others might have a link to it, they could put it in the chat for us. We would appreciate that. Thank you all for thinking about Women's Day in a special way. Think about all the women in your lives, both our mothers, our aunts, our grandmothers, our daughters, and our children, and all the women that we encounter in the workplace. Reach out to them, lift them up, let them know how far we've come, and help them to be better than they could be, so they can believe in themselves. Because when I grow up, a lot of people felt, well, you're just a girl, you know, don't throw like a girl, don't do all the things. And it was a very different mindset that people spoke up. Today, we're a force to reckon with, and they know it. Women are special, special gifts endowed by our Creator, but also the way we treat one another. And we should not be ignored, not in the boardroom, not in the home. We are to be heard. I think it was National Be Heard Day today as well. So hear me, women, hear me roar. It's time to be heard. I'm now going to turn control of the meeting over to our president, Raghu, for final words from guests and our dignitaries. Raghu?
Thank you very much, DTM Susan. World Hair Day, of course, to be heard from women, but do you spare even a day when we don't listen to you? That's a fun part. But I have a huge respect for women because, as Jay has told, you are super woman by birth. Because this superpower you have, you make the world beautiful. I cannot imagine you come back home tired with as tired as men, but still you cook, you make things tidy, and you have that power to do it. I can never imagine I'll be able to do that as a man. I salute you all for this great power that you have. Now we need to hear from two more superwomen who are present here, who are our district officer. Before I go to guest, can I hear from our club director, DTM Rajiv Bandhan Pudi? She has taken a powerful role as club growth director this year and has been doing great job till now. Let us hear from her little bit about her challenges that she faced so far and also her feedback on the meeting today. Raji, over to you.
Thank you so much, Raghu, for all those kind words used in my introduction. I really appreciate all of it, and I'll take it in as well to celebrate myself taking up this role. So thank you so much for that. Oh, when I walked into this meeting, I had looked up what's the theme for the International Women's Day, which was about embracing equity, which is such a powerful theme and which kind of encompasses my thoughts on feminism and equality for women, which is basically about not asking us to make women equal to men, but say having no bias, or because we are different. It's men and women cannot be equal. We bring in our own qualities, men bring in their own qualities. But somehow when we talk about equality, it always turns out we are wanting to be treated equally and given the same opportunities as men, which does not exactly mean we want to do what men do, but we want to be given the opportunity with no bias, saying, oh, you are a woman, that's why I take this opportunity. No, it's an open position. Since you're qualified for the position, you're welcome to have it. That is what we are all talking about when we say we want equality. We are talking about equity. We don't really want the tag, you got this because you're a woman. And each of us at different aspects probably have been fighting. Susan mentioned her journey growing up, but some of the parts I myself growing up in the millennium experienced myself and still see a hint of it in my life as well. So I think we touched upon great topics, great aspects where different speakers brought out different shades of women throughout, which was very inspiring to hear. And which is very heartwarming that we are thinking of women in all these aspects, not just the aspect of being a nurturer or a caregiver or just doing our jobs on a daily basis. So I was really happy and it just warmed my heart so much to hear. So kudos to all the women who presented those topics, which were about women. So I would really want to applaud all of you. And the same thing, I think the message that I want all of us and the one that I'm taking back is let's embrace the differences that we have as a gender from men and take it in our stride. They're not our weaknesses, but they're all our strengths and our superpowers because I just read this, like each of us has a superpower to be ourselves. So I think we should totally take advantage and pride in it and do the job that we are doing to the best of our capabilities. So that's what I would leave all of you with and take back with me as well. So thank you so much for having me today. Back to you, Raghu.
Thank you very much, DTM Raji Bandanpudi, our Club Growth Director. And let me invite our Area Director, Area A3, Pamela McHenry. Pamela?
Well, thank you, Raji, for inviting me, and I'm happy to be here. You're going to probably see a lot of me since I am your new area director, and you guys have already stepped up to the plate and are successful and are really doing amazing. I was especially interested to hear all the different viewpoints today. I never really had similar problems to what I've heard today, other than I was well aware of the history of women's suffrage and voting and being second-class citizens. I was very aware of this my whole life. I mean, I wasn't born on a turnip truck or something like that. However, I have 3 brothers and a very powerful father and a beautiful, wonderful, caring, loving mother. My father would always tell me, look, you got to stand up for yourself. What are you going to let your brothers make you cry? I mean, he would try to help me strengthen my character, and you could do anything if you put your mind to it. And why are you feeling sorry for yourself if somebody looks at you the wrong way? I mean, not literally, but when you're a child and you're growing up, and a girl, or at least it was me, I was very sensitive. I was very sensitive to what people thought about me. And I don't know if that's a woman trait, because I know lots of men that have also felt this way. I think we're just unique individuals that we all want to be heard. We all want to be felt as if we're understood. We all want love, and we all want to have a voice in our world. And I think it was hard for me to really learn that. It wasn't because I was ever treated bad or a second-class citizen or abused in any way. It was because I had to learn how to develop my own character and communicate with people, whether they were male or female. It didn't make a difference to me. I worked in the workplace forever, and I never really had those problems. I excelled, but only because I was taught, just be yourself. Be yourself. Don't worry about what other people think. Just get out there, and you could do whatever you set your mind to. I was very lucky, and I think and my mother did everything for my father, by the way. I mean, she did everything to make his life comfortable. And I thought, wow, what a great example, because she gave so much of her love while my father worked his, really hard and his butt off and doing what he had to do to support a family. And I have a sense of appreciation for fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers. Everybody plays such an important part in our society. And I think we all need to be acknowledged. It's not about gender to me. It's more about who we are. Thank you for asking me to introduce myself, Raghu. It was a great event tonight. Glad
Wonderful.
to be here.
Loved those words, the closing words, Pamela. Thank you very much. Can I invite our guest, Maria, who has joined 30 minutes early, waiting for the meeting to start. Wonderful lady here. Can I know your feedback on the meeting? And is this something that you see as an opportunity for you to grow yourself as a public speaker, as a communicator? Maria. Are you able to unmute yourself, Maria? Okay.
I'm sorry, are you speaking to me?
I was asking Maria Espirito.
Okay.
Okay, while Maria is fixing her mic, Mary Shaiking, do you want to share your experience meeting today?
Oh my goodness, it was a wonderful experience. I did not realize until I kept reading your WhatsApp threads that this was a Women's Day celebrating National Women's History Month or a National Women's History Day, and it turned out to be absolutely phenomenal. We got to see so many aspects of how women feel about themselves and the circumstances that they find themselves surrounded in. And I think that at the end of the day, we've all summed it up by saying just what Pamela said, be yourself. Just be yourself. It takes the angst out of it. It takes so much of the stress out of it. But stand tall in that. Know who you are and never back down. That's my philosophy. Thank you for inviting me to be an evaluator, and I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Mary. Maria, are you able to talk now? Can you unmute yourself?
There, can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Thank
hear
you
you.
so. I've been trying to figure out where I will be a member of with the online Toastmasters. Oh, this group is amazing. This is first class. I mean, like, you are all so good, so organized. You have the speakers. I mean, it's just like textbook Toastmasters from what I read. And so, hey, I'm going to be a member of this group. So I don't know how to do that. I'll go to your website and apply for membership. But this is an amazing, amazing group. And I learned a lot. Susan, the Toastmaster, your voice is so nice, is so calm, and yet it's so powerful, emphatic. And the evaluators, I learned from you, just giving those tips to the speakers who are great speakers. And overall, this was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Please leave your email ID and I'll reach out to you for the membership. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Can I hear from Lydia?
Well, I had attended the meeting before, but had schedule conflicts. So where this was the first time that I've actually been able to come back and participate. And I'd like to say congratulations on your charter, first of all. And I really enjoyed being a part of it. I was practicing my evaluation since I will be competing in our area evaluation contest a week from Saturday. So hopefully you guys can cheer me on in that. And yes, this is just wonderful. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Lydia, for taking up the role. We were short of women role players today. And all the best for your area contest. One thing I would say, like in and an, woman and man should complement each other, should treat each other as equal. Growing up in my family, my parents taught me and my sister everything, doing chores at home, whether it is cleaning or cooking, or whether it is education. They gave us equal opportunity. That helped me to become a better person. Watching my mother, watching my sister, watching my wife, I know what it takes to be a woman, what it takes to do so many things, irrespective of we treating them as equal. I would never say we are equal because you have super strength to do many things. Not just one day, every day is yours. And I would say happy International Women's Day once again. And Diana, you wanted to say something? We can close with that. Diana?
He has written in the chat.
Yeah, this meeting was awesome with my table topic and challenging speech. Thank you very much, Diana. Thank you very much. Irrespective of her challenges, she's been traveling across different clubs virtually from past 25 years. Can we have a big round of applause for this wonderful lady joining from Canada? Thank you all for joining today. I will adjourn the meeting officially, but please stay back for network.